It was the kind of night where silence wrapped the sleepy town like a thick blanket. The streets of Pine Ridge were almost deserted, the occasional flicker of street lamps casting long, wavering shadows on cracked sidewalks. Most residents were tucked inside their homes, unaware that something extraordinary was about to unravel in their midst. At the edge of town, near the abandoned observatory, a figure moved swiftly through the darkness. She was unlike anyone the town had ever seen, tall and slender, with skin that shimmered faintly under the moonlight, almost like polished glass. Her eyes, a shade of violet no one could quite place, reflected the dim light with an otherworldly glow. She moved cautiously, as if weighed down by an invisible burden. Her name was Lyra. Lyra wasn't from Pine Ridge, nor was she from any place that anyone in this quiet town could imagine. She was an alien, an exile from a distant star system, hiding from forces that wished to capture or destroy her. But there was something about Lyra that made her presence in Pine Ridge dangerous, not just for herself, but for anyone who came too close, because there was a curse. No one knew where it came from, how it began, or why it was attached to her. But the truth was chilling. Anyone who touched Lyra would instantly turn to dust. Jake Miller was a typical local, a mechanic by trade, with rough hands and an easy smile. He had never believed in the supernatural or strange tales. His world was filled with grease engines and the predictable rhythm of small-town life. But that night, his life would be forever changed. Jake was on his way home after closing the garage, his boots crunching on the gravel near the observatory. He noticed the flicker of movement out of the corner of his eye, a silhouette standing near the old telescope. Curiosity got the better of him. "Hey, you lost!" he called out, his voice echoing slightly in the empty night. Lyra turned slowly, her gaze meeting his. There was a softness in her eyes that didn't match the cold rumors he'd heard from the town's elders, the whispered warnings about a ghostly figure that killed anyone who touched her. Jake took a step closer, hands in his pockets, trying to keep calm. "Name's Jake. You look like you could use some help." For a moment, silence hung between them, heavy and tense. Then, almost instinctively, Jake reached out his hand to steady Lyra, who seemed to stumble as if overwhelmed by some internal struggle. The moment their skin met, everything changed. A strange sensation surged through Jake's body, a searing heat followed by an icy chill. His fingers tingled as if alive with electricity. Suddenly, dust began to peel away from his skin, drifting upward like ashes from a fire. Panic flashed in his eyes as he staggered back. Lyra's eyes widened in horror. "No, it's happening," she whispered. But Jake didn't crumble to dust. Instead, the dust stopped mid-air, hovering around him like a shimmering aura. Slowly, the particles reattached themselves, as if some unseen force was holding him together. Breathing heavily, Jake looked at his hands, still solid, still real. What was that?" Lyra's voice was barely a whisper. "I am cursed. Anyone who touches me turns to dust, but you didn't." Jake stared, confusion mixing with awe. "Why me? Why didn't I?" Before she could answer, a loud crack echoed from the observatory. The ground trembled slightly beneath their feet. "They're coming," Lyra said urgently. Jake barely had time to react before shadows moved in the darkness, figures clad in strange armor, eyes glowing faintly red. They were hunters from Lyra's world, relentless and deadly. "Run!" she urged, grabbing his arm. As they fled into the night, Jake's mind raced. Who was this girl? What was this curse? And most importantly, why had fate chosen him to break it? The next morning, Pine Ridge awoke to rumors. Whispers of the ghostly girl and the mechanic who had survived her touch spread like wildfire. But no one could explain what really happened. Jake knew one thing for sure. His ordinary life was over, and the dangerous secret he now carried would change everything. Cliffhanger. That night, Jake felt a strange pulse in his hand. a faint glow beneath his skin. Something was awakening inside him, something connected to Lyra and the curse. But what? And what price would he pay for it? The sun was barely rising over Pine Ridge, painting the sky with streaks of orange and purple, but Jake Miller was wide awake. The strange glow beneath his skin pulsed faintly in the dim light, as if it had a heartbeat of its own. He flexed his fingers carefully, trying to make sense of the eerie sensation. How could he be untouched by the curse that reduced others to dust? For hours, Jake replayed the events of last night. The way Lyra moved, like she was carrying the weight of worlds on her shoulders, her voice barely more than a whisper when she said, "I am cursed." And the moment his hand touched hers, dust should have claimed him, but instead, something extraordinary happened. Something no one in Pine Ridge, or even the distant stars, could have expected. Still, Jake had questions, burning questions that begged for answers. He decided he needed to find Lyra again to understand the curse, and why he alone was immune. The meeting at dawn, Jake found Lyra at the edge of town, near the old woods where the trees stood like ancient guardians. She sat on a moss-covered log, head bowed, lost in thought. Her violet eyes flickered with exhaustion, and something deeper, fear. "Lyra," Jake called softly, not wanting to startle her. She looked up, surprised to see him so early. "Jake, you shouldn't be here. It's not safe." "I don't care about safe anymore," Jake said, stepping closer. "You owe me answers. What is this curse, and why didn't it destroy me?" Lyra sighed and motioned for him to sit beside her. The forest around them was still and quiet, as if waiting for her story to unfold. The origin of the curse, Lyra began cautiously. "The curse isn't just some random spell. It's ancient, older than most civilizations. I belong to a race called the Zalthar. Long ago we were proud and powerful, but we made enemies." She paused, struggling to find the right words. "Our leaders created a weapon, something to protect us, but it backfired. The curse was meant to guard, to make me untouchable, but it became a prison." Jake listened intently as she explained. The curse caused any living being who touched her to turn to dust instantly, a defense mechanism that made her isolated, lonely, and hunted. "You're a weapon trapped in flesh," Jake muttered, disbelief and sympathy mixing in his voice. Lyra nodded. "Yes, and there are those who want to use me for their own gain, or to destroy me completely." The forbidden touch, Jake glanced down at his hands, still glowing faintly. "But why me? Why didn't I turn to dust?" "That's the question. I've asked myself every day," Lyra said. "There is something different about you, something inside you that resists the curse." Jake's mind raced. Could he be part of some prophecy? Or was it pure coincidence? Either way, he felt drawn to Lyra, more than just curiosity, a connection that defied logic. The message in the stars. Suddenly, Lyra's eyes grew distant, and she stood abruptly. "We don't have much time. They're coming for me." Jake followed as she led him to the abandoned observatory, the same place where he first saw her. Inside, dusty old instruments sat covered with cobwebs. But Lyra went straight to a hidden panel beneath the floorboards. She pushed aside the loose wood and revealed a small, glowing device, something that didn't belong in this world. "This is a message," Lyra said, "from my people. It holds the secret to breaking the curse, but no one has been able to decode it until now." Jake knelt down, examining the device. Strange symbols glowed faintly, shifting and changing like living code. The key to the curse. Over the next few hours, Jake and Lyra worked together, trying to understand the cryptic message. Jake's mind was sharp, and something about the symbols resonated with the glow in his hands. "This is like a puzzle," Jake said, "and I think my body is the key." Lyra looked at him with hope flickering in her eyes. "If you're right, then you might be the only one who can save me, and maybe even yourself. But as the sun climbed higher, a chilling realization dawned on them. Decoding the message was just the beginning. Breaking the curse would mean facing dangers neither had ever imagined, an unexpected visitor. Before they could dig deeper, a noise came from outside, the crunching of footsteps on gravel. Jake's heart pounded as he peeked through the cracked door. Two figures approached, moving stealthily but purposefully. They wore dark armor, their faces hidden behind helmets with glowing red visors. Hunters. Lyra grabbed Jake's arm. "We have to hide. Now." They slipped into a narrow tunnel beneath the observatory, a secret escape route Lyra had discovered long ago. As they crawled through the darkness, Jake's mind whirled with questions. Who were these hunters? Why were they after Lyra? And could Jake trust anyone at all? The hunters' plan hidden in the shadows. Jake overheard muffled voices. "She's here," one growled. "We can't let her live. The curse must be destroyed. No exceptions." Jake's stomach tightened. If the hunters succeeded, Lyra's fate would be sealed. But what about him? Would the curse finally claim him? A fragile Bondus night fell again. Jake and Lyra found shelter in an old cabin deep in the woods. Exhausted but determined, they shared stories of their pasts. Lyra spoke of her homeworld, a place of dazzling stars and towering cities, now ravaged by war and betrayal. Jake told her about Pine Ridge, his family, his dreams, and the simple life he thought he'd always have. Despite their differences, a fragile bond grew between them. Two lost souls, bound by a curse and a hope that neither fully understood. Cliffhanger. The warning just as dawn approached, Lyra's device beeped softly. A new message had arrived. A warning. Jake read it aloud, his voice trembling. "The curse is only the beginning. The real enemy lies closer than you think. The early." Morning light struggled through the dense forest canopy as Jake and Lyra huddled inside the small, weather-beaten cabin. Outside, the wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it an eerie warning that seemed almost alive. Jake's fingers trembled as he stared at the glowing device, the one that had just delivered the cryptic message. "The curse is only the beginning. The real enemy lies closer than you think." "What does it mean?" Jake asked, breaking the silence. His voice was low, as if speaking louder would unleash the unseen threat lurking nearby. Lyra's violet eyes narrowed in thought. "It means the hunters aren't the only danger. Someone, or something else, is watching us. Someone who knows more about the curse than we do." Jake swallowed hard, a chill crawling down his spine. He had thought the curse was the ultimate threat, but now it felt like just the surface of a far deeper, darker mystery. A secret revealed as dawn grew brighter. Lyra carefully pulled a thin metallic tablet from her cloak. It was old, ancient even, engraved with the same shifting symbols as the device Jake had touched the night before. "This tablet belonged to my mother," Lyra said quietly. "She was a scholar in our people's council. Before she disappeared, she sent this to me with a warning. The curse was created to keep us safe from an enemy who could destroy worlds. But that enemy has already found us." Jake leaned in, tracing the strange glyphs with his fingertips. The symbols shimmered slightly. Reacting to his touch, "What kind of enemy?" Jake asked. Lyra looked away, her lips pressed tight. "One that can hide behind a mask. One that can control minds and turn allies into enemies." Trust shattered just then. The cabin door creaked open. Jake and Lyra tensed, but it wasn't the hunters. It was Sarah, Jake's childhood friend. Her face was pale, her eyes wide. With terror, "Jake," she whispered urgently, "you need to leave now." "What happened?" Jake asked, alarmed. "They're after you, the hunters. But there's more. Someone in Pine Ridge is working with them. Someone we trusted." Lyra's gaze sharpened. "A traitor," Jake's heart pounded. He thought of the people around him, neighbors, friends, even family. Could one of them be the enemy? The hunt intensifies. Sarah's warning triggered a rush of adrenaline. The hunters weren't just shadowy figures in the woods anymore. They had infiltrated the town. "We need to move," Sarah said. "They'll come for you at the observatory and everywhere else. You can't stay here." Jake looked at Lyra. "Where can we go? There's nowhere safe left." Lyra's jaw tightened. "There is one place, the vault. It's a hidden sanctuary on my homeworld. It holds the knowledge we need to break the curse. But it's dangerous, and getting there won't be easy." Preparing to escape. The three of them worked quickly, gathering supplies from Jake's house and packing what little Lyra could carry. The glow in Jake's hands pulsed steadily now, stronger than ever. "I don't understand," Jake said as he fastened his backpack. "Why am I immune? What's inside me that protects me?" Lyra shook her head. "I don't know yet, but I believe it's tied to the curse, or the key to breaking it." The device beeped again, another message flashing across the screen. "Time is running out. The traitor is closer than you realize." The betrayal, just as they prepared to leave. The cabin door burst open with a violent crash. Armed men stormed inside, hunters but different. Their armor was sleeker, their weapons more advanced. Jake raised his hands, ready to fight, but Sarah's face twisted in shock. "No," she gasped. "It's him." The leader stepped forward, pulling off his helmet. It was Tom, Jake's older brother. Jake's world shattered. "How? Why?" Jake stammered, disbelief tearing at him. Tom's eyes were cold. "You were never meant to survive the curse, Jake, but you did. And now you're a threat to everything we've been working for." Lyra's voice was steady but fierce. "You've been betraying your own people for what? Power? Fear?" Tom sneered. "I'm doing what's necessary. The Zalthar curse must be destroyed at any cost." Escape into darkness, gunfire erupted as Jake, Lyra, and Sarah fought their way through the cabin. Bullets tore through walls, splintered wood, and shattered glass. Lyra's power flared, a dazzling light surrounding her, but Jake could see the toll it took on her. "We have to get to the vault," she shouted over the chaos. Jake grabbed her hand, feeling the pulse of energy flow between them. Together they dashed out into the dense forest, branches clawing at their skin, the hunters hot on their heels. Into the unknown hours later, after running through the dark woods, they stumbled upon an ancient stone archway, a portal hidden. For centuries, Lyra touched the glyphs carved into the stones. The portal shimmered, then opened like a doorway into the stars. "We have to trust this," Lyra said. "It's the only way to reach the vault." Jake swallowed his fear. Hand in hand, they stepped into the swirling light, leaving everything they knew behind. Arrival at the vault, they emerged into a cavernous chamber filled with glowing crystals and holographic displays. The vault was a sanctuary of knowledge, a place where ancient secrets were stored. An ethereal voice echoed around them. "Welcome, Lyra. You have come far." Lyra gasped. "Mother?" A shimmering figure appeared, a projection of her mother. "Trapped in light, you must uncover the truth," the projection said. "The curse, the enemy, and the key within Jake." Cliffhanger, the true enemy as. The projection faded. A new message appeared on the holographic screen. "Beware the shadow in your own heart. The enemy wears the face of a friend." Jake stared at the words, dread sinking deep. The curse was only the beginning. The real war had just begun. The vault's glowing crystals pulsed softly, bathing the vast chamber in a calming light that contrasted sharply with the storm brewing inside Jake's mind. His heart still hammered from the shock of seeing his brother Tom as an enemy. The betrayal cut deeper than any wound he'd ever known. How could someone he trusted so much turn against him and their entire town? Lyra stood beside him, her gaze fixed on the holographic projection of her mother, who had vanished years ago but was now offering guidance from beyond. The revelation that Jake held the key to the curse's undoing made everything feel both hopeful and terrifying. The weight of responsibility. Jake swallowed hard, feeling the strange device in his pocket throb gently. The glow reminded him that he wasn't just a survivor, he was a beacon, a puzzle piece in a cosmic game he barely understood. "Lyra," he said, voice shaking, "how am I supposed to be the key? I'm just me." Lyra reached out, placing a firm hand on his shoulder. "You're more than that, Jake. You carry something ancient inside you, something connected to the Zalthar curse. Your immunity isn't accidental, it's a sign." Jake's mind flashed back to the first moment he touched the alien device, to the dust that had turned his friends to ash. "But what? What is it I carry?" Unlocking secrets, Lyra led him deeper into the vault, where walls shimmered with images of galaxies, ancient battles, and cryptic texts. "We have to understand the curse to break it," she explained, "and for that we need the Codex." The Codex was a legendary artifact, a repository of knowledge left by the Zalthar civilization, long thought lost. A chamber opened ahead, revealing a pedestal holding a small crystalline book that radiated soft blue light. Jake approached it cautiously, the air thick with anticipation. The Codex speaks. As Jake touched the Codex, a surge of images and sensations flooded his mind, visions of an ancient war between two alien factions, a forbidden experiment gone wrong, and a curse designed to contain a force so powerful it could unravel entire worlds. A voice echoed in his head, both alien and familiar. "The key lies within the bloodline of those who defied the curse, the ones who carry the light of hope." Jake staggered back, clutching his head. "What does that mean?" Lyra's eyes glimmered with realization. "You're not just immune by chance. You descend from a line that once opposed the curse, humans altered by contact with the Zalthar." Dark discovery. Suddenly, the chamber's lights flickered, and the holographic projection of Lyra's mother reappeared, her expression grave. "There's more," she warned. "Your brother Tom is being controlled by a shadow entity. It feeds on fear and betrayal. He is not fully himself." Jake's heart clenched. "Can he be saved?" Lyra shook her head slowly. "Only if we can sever the entity's hold. But that means facing him, and the darkness inside him. A plan forms. The trio sat down to strategize. Sarah, still shaken but determined, spoke up. "We can't just run anymore. We have to fight back. If the hunters have a puppet in town, we need to expose them, all of them." Jake nodded, steeling himself. "First, we get stronger. We learn everything the vault can teach us." Lyra smiled faintly. "There's more here than just knowledge. The vault holds weapons, technology, remnants of the Zalthar's power, training and transformation." Over the next days, Jake trained under Lyra's guidance, learning to harness the mysterious energy coursing through him. He discovered he could manipulate light and matter in ways that defied human understanding. Sarah worked on tracking the hunters and gathering intel on the traitors in Pine Ridge. Lyra delved into the vault's archives, searching for a way to break the shadow entity's control over Tom. The price of power, but with every step forward, the dangers grew. The shadow entities sensed their efforts and struck back, sabotaging their technology, sending corrupted hunters after them, and whispering lies that threatened to fracture their fragile trust. Jake felt the weight of the curse more keenly than ever. The glow in his hand sometimes flared uncontrollably, draining him physically and mentally. One night, exhausted and frustrated, Jake confided in Lyra. "What if I can't control it? What if I become the very thing I'm fighting against?" Lyra's gaze softened. "That's why we're together. You're not alone." An unexpected visitor. Just as hope began to rise, the vault's security alarms blared. A figure materialized in the chamber, a mysterious alien envoy, cloaked in shimmering silver robes. "I am Kalen," the envoy announced. "I bring a message from the Galactic Council." Jake and Lyra exchanged wary glances. Kalen continued, "The curse and the shadow entity are part of a larger conflict that threatens not just your world, but many across the stars. Your actions here have drawn attention. A dire warning. The Galactic Council demands you cease your efforts, or face consequences. Jake's fists clenched. We won't stop fighting. This curse is destroying lives. Kalen's eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity. Then prepare yourselves. The real battle is yet to come. With that, Kalen vanished, leaving an ominous silence. Cliffhanger, the battle lines drawn as the vault fell into darkness. Jake looked at his companions. We've crossed a line, he said grimly. This isn't just about Pine Ridge or even Earth anymore. We're part of something far bigger and far more dangerous. Lyra nodded. And if the Galactic Council wants us stopped, they'll send their own hunters. Sarah gritted her teeth. Then we'll have to hunt back. Outside, the forest whispered secrets, shadows moving like living things. The real war for survival and the fate of worlds had only just begun. The vault lay silent once more, its soft crystal glow flickering faintly as if weary from the weight of recent revelations. Outside, Pine Ridge felt like a world on the edge of collapse, tensions simmering, secrets unraveling, and an unseen war stretching its claws into the lives of everyone below. Jake sat cross-legged in the vault's main chamber, eyes closed, focusing on the strange energy flowing within him. It was no longer just about survival. It was about understanding what he truly was, and what he was destined to become. Awakening the power, Lyra watched him quietly, her presence steady and calm. You're ready, she said softly. The Codex has unlocked new potential. But power alone isn't enough. Control is everything. Jake nodded slowly. He could feel the energy responding to his thoughts now, bending light and matter with greater ease. Yet every surge left him drained, his mind teetering on the edge of exhaustion. Suddenly the vault's security system beeped urgently. Sarah appeared at the entrance, breathless. Hunters spotted near the town edge, she reported. They're moving fast, and they've brought reinforcements. Jake's eyes snapped open. We need to prepare. The hunters advance outside. The hunters gathered like shadows, sleek and menacing, their alien armor glinting under the fading sun. They moved with a predatory grace, relentless and precise. Jake, Lyra, and Sarah fortified the vault's defenses, activating ancient Zalthar, technology that hummed with power. This isn't just a skirmish, Lyra said grimly. They're here to eliminate the source of the curse. They believe that source is us. Jake gritted his teeth. Then we'll show them the strength of humanity. Unexpected allies. As the hunters closed in, a sudden flash of light erupted. From the forest, figures emerged, alien warriors, clad in armor unlike any Jake had seen before, their faces stern but not hostile. Kalen's envoy had returned, this time with reinforcements. We come as peacekeepers, their leader announced. The Galactic Council sent us to observe, but we see the potential for alliance. Jake's heart raced. Could these strangers be trusted? The Council's true intentions. The alien leader explained the larger conflict, a cosmic war between factions vying for control of ancient alien technology, including the Zalthar's power. The curse on Earth was a byproduct of this struggle, a weapon to contain the uncontrollable. The Galactic Council fears the curse's power falling into the wrong hands, the leader said. They want to control it or destroy it. Lyra's eyes narrowed. But you're here to protect us, the leader hesitated. Our orders are complicated, but you, Jake, represent a variable we cannot ignore. You might be the key to peace or destruction. The battle begins. Before more could be said, the hunters attacked, the peaceful facade shattered. Laser blasts lit the twilight as Jake and his allies fought desperately. Jake unleashed the new powers the Codex had revealed, bending light to form shields, manipulating energy to blast foes back. But the hunters were relentless, using dark technology that twisted reality itself. In the chaos, Jake caught sight of Tom, controlled and fierce, fighting against him with terrifying strength. Brother against. Brother Tom's eyes flickered with flashes of recognition amidst the darkness controlling him. "Jake, stop!" he gasped between attacks. Jake hesitated, his heart torn. "Tom, fight it! You're stronger than this!" For a fleeting moment, Tom faltered, the shadow entity's grip loosening. But then the entity roared, pushing Tom into a frenzy. Sacrifice and salvation, seeing no other way, Jake focused all his energy into a blinding burst of light, enveloping Tom. The shadow entity shrieked, its hold breaking with a pulse that echoed through the vault. Tom collapsed, unconscious but free. Sarah rushed to his side. "He's alive!" Lyra exhaled deeply. "But the cost is high. We've revealed ourselves fully now." A new path with the battle over, the alien envoy approached Jake. "You have made a choice that will change everything," the leader said. "The Galactic Council will watch closely, but know this, the real enemy is yet to reveal itself." Jake looked out over the horizon, the weight of his destiny pressing down. "We'll be ready," he said quietly, "for whatever comes next." Cliffhanger. The true enemy awaits as night fell over Pine Ridge. An ancient signal pulsed deep beneath the earth, awakening forces long dormant. The galaxy's greatest war was about to engulf their small town, and the fate of humanity would hang in the balance. The cold pulse beneath the earth vibrated like a heartbeat. It echoed through the vault, through the very core of Pine Ridge, and through Jake's soul. This was no ordinary threat. This was the awakening of an ancient power, older than galaxies, older than time itself. The small town, once a peaceful refuge, had become the epicenter of a cosmic war, a war that would decide the fate of humanity and perhaps the universe. The calm. Before the storm, Jake stood at the vault's entrance, staring into the star-streaked night sky. The alien envoy had warned him. The true enemy was yet to reveal itself. That enemy now stirred in the depths below. Lyra approached quietly, her eyes reflecting the shimmering constellations. "We have little time. The Codex's energy is fading, and the signal grows stronger." Sarah checked the alien devices scattered around the chamber. "Our scanners picked up something massive, something moving. Whatever it is, it's coming up." Jake's grip tightened around the glowing Codex fragment embedded in his palm. "Then we face it, together." Gathering, the Allies' word had spread beyond Pine Ridge. Humans who had glimpsed the alien world now stood with Jake, scientists, soldiers, dreamers, united by one cause. Kalen's warriors, too, readied themselves, their advanced weapons and tactics a crucial force. Even Tom, still recovering but resolute, stepped forward. "I'm with you, Jake. This time we finish it." Their uneasy alliance was a fragile thread, woven by hope and necessity. The earth trembles. The ground shuddered violently. Trees swayed, buildings cracked, and a deep rumble filled the air. From the fissures in the earth, a vast shadow began to rise, a colossal being of ancient energy and shifting forms. It was the entity behind the curse, a guardian of the Zalthar technology, corrupted by eons of isolation and anger. Jake could feel the Codex reacting, pulsing with both fear and determination. This was no longer just a fight for survival, it was a fight for redemption, the Battle of Pine Ridge. The Allied forces charged forward, weapons blazing. Jake focused his energy, weaving light into shields and blasts, guiding his friends through the chaos. Kalen's warriors struck with precision, their alien tech disrupting the Guardian's form, but the entity was relentless, a storm of cosmic fury, twisting reality and warping the battlefield. Tom fought valiantly by Jake's side, their bond unbroken by past struggles. The heart of the Guardianers, the battle raged. Jake realized the key was not destruction, but understanding. He approached, The Guardian's core, reaching out with the Codex's power, images flooded his mind, memories of the Zalthar civilization, their hopes, fears, and tragic downfall. The Guardian was not a monster, but a protector, twisted by centuries of loneliness and pain. A choice of mercy. Jake spoke aloud, his voice steady and full of compassion. We don't want to destroy you. We want to heal, to restore what was lost. The Guardian pulsed with ancient sorrow, then slowly, its form softened, its fury subsided. The Codex's light enveloped the Guardian, mending the fractures of time and space. New beginnings with the Guardian's healing, the curse lifted. The alien technology no longer threatened Earth, but became a bridge between worlds. Jake and Lyra looked to the stars, knowing this was just the beginning of a new era, one where humans and aliens could coexist, learn and explore together. Tom smiled faintly, his scars a testament to survival and growth. Sarah sent a message to the Galactic Council, offering Earth's hand in peace and partnership. The lesson as dawn broke over Pine Ridge, Jake stood among friends and allies. He thought of everything they had faced: fear, loss, hope, and courage. The true lesson was clear: power alone can destroy or corrupt, but with empathy and understanding, it can heal and unite. Epilogue: a universe transformed. Years later, Pine Ridge had become a beacon of unity and discovery. Humans and aliens worked side by side, exploring the cosmos and uncovering secrets long buried. Jake, now a leader among both worlds, gazed at the stars, ready for whatever adventures awaited. The story that began with a mysterious curse and a forbidden touch had ended, but humanity's journey among the stars had only just begun. The end.